Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast. I cannot believe this is episode 46, my friends, and we are just a part of the podcast playground. Welcome aboard, everybody.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. You said what you gave it quite a buildup for episode 46. Is that a magic number for you? I was thinking, oh my gosh, have we reached 50 or some big number?
I just think as I see these numbers rise,
right,
I'm going, oh my goodness, how long have we been doing this? Now, I will say the first week or two, we did like 2 a week, I think, for the first couple of weeks because I wanted to get, a bunch in the stream or whatever. And then we started doing it weekly.
Yes.
So we're still not a year in, but we're getting mighty close.
Now you've sparked my curiosity, and I'm gonna have to see when the first episode hit the airwaves. So, but you're right, we haven't been recording them for that long because we recorded a bunch not in advance, but like you said, we recorded a couple of them a week. So yeah, good question. Anyway, all good, crazy, and yes, the show, the train that is the BJ and Bill podcast rumbles on through the night.
And I'll tell you what,
didn't it? Yeah, what?
The people at the podcast playground, they are working overtime, my friends.
Yes.
We've got a couple promo videos that are up on YouTube, and they've shared those, and they're using those and advertising the show. And I think maybe because they knew last week's guest, Dave Alexander, was well known in the Fort Myers area from being on the radio. Mm-hmm. I noticed I saw tons of advertising for that.
Really?
I'm saying that probably hit in the Fort Myers area.
Yeah. I think I saw the promo on Facebook. I think I saw the promo, or did you just post it? Maybe you posted it.
I posted it. And of course the podcast playground posted it also.
So yeah, we're the more and more famous with every passing week, more and more famous for the BJ and Bill podcast.
Now they're advertising us a bunch, and I don't know if that means we're not getting very many listeners, so they're trying to build our audience.
Right.
Or we're getting a bunch, so they're trying to get more. I don't know.
I think, let's pull out all the marketing cliches. I think success builds on success. I think this is just, as they say in the NFL, we're not rebuilding, we're reloading. It's like...
I'm hoping that's the case anyway. Sometimes, though, when I listen to the shows back, I go, man, you can tell I'm getting old because I flub words. I flub phrases. Yeah. I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore, people.
A friend of mine, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier this week, and she said, sometimes crap just comes tumbling out of my mouth and I don't even know what it is myself. I'm like, really? And you're okay with that? So yeah, I hear you. So that's fine.
And then, of course, my wife listens back. Usually when I'm listening back, because usually it's when I'm on the road.
Uh-huh.
I usually, put it on because I can put it on the car speakers.
Right.
And it's like, oh, wait, that was so stupid. Why'd you say that? Well, that's not right. That's not right. That's
really?
Oh, yeah.
Are you saying we have to fact check this program? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know, but she fact checks me.
I would expect that. Yeah, I would totally expect that. So fact checkers have revealed that some of the things that have appeared on the BJ and Bill podcast may not be 100% accurate. That's all we're saying. We're not.
Or else they weren't said right. But in my brain, I was thinking accurately.
Oh, okay. You were thinking it properly in your brain, but to somewhere between brain cells and mouth, things went crazy. There was a glitch in the matrix. I hear you. I get it. That's fine. You're okay. You're fine.
Now, coming up in a little bit, people.
Yes.
And I don't know how this is going to work. I've arranged for a special guest.
Right.
To join the show.
Yes.
And I want to do it surprising Bill Stevens. But in order for them to come on board our broadcast, because we do this on Zoom.
Right.
Bill is the mastermind of our Zoom.
Well, I can push a button.
He will need to bring them on board. So he will probably.
Yeah, wait. I'm having a brain moment here. I'm thinking I can make you the presenter. I think. I don't want to lose our recording here, but I think I can make you the presenter, and then you would have to bring them on. And I could like either just close my screen or close my eyes until you said, okay, Bill, open your eyes. Now, is this, and BJ has been very coy about not telling me who it is, other than it's a male, not a female, right?
Right. It's a male. And that's all I'm telling you. I'm not
that's all he's telling me.
Because today's the day.
Nothing. Today's the day. So
now, if I send this invitation,
right,
and he does not join us, I will tell you by the end of the episode who it was supposed to have been.
He will drag his name through the mud. So, okay.
But they said they would appear.
Okay.
We've sent a couple emails back and forth.
Right.
And so we'll see.
I'm not sure that I can make you see. It's got me here. Well,
I don't think you should, because if you do, we could really mess this up.
We could really Now, I'm looking. I know people can't see it because we're doing this on Zoom, and BJ and I can see each other. I can make you the host of this meeting, and that way you could bring on the person yourself, and I wouldn't see it until you told me to look, and I would look and see their smiling face on the program. So we can try that if you're feeling up to the task.
In a way, I would like to do that, but in a way, as we just mentioned,
yes,
I say things a lot.
Things could go horribly wrong. I get it.
Things could go, and I would like for this to work smoothly.
Okay, fine. So then,
since you are kind of a Zoom person,
right?
You know the buttons, you know where to look.
Right.
We could be talking, and this guy could be wanting to get in the room for a half hour.
Right. I hear you.
Then I'd go, oh, I guess he's right up there in the corner, and I didn't see him.
Okay. So I promise. So here's what I'll do. I promise I will act surprised. I won't act surprised. I promise that I will show you how surprised I am, or talk about it when this person comes on the program with us. Okay. So I'll be surprised.
And you will be surprised. I mean, when you
I will be surprised.
Email, unless they use some kind of fictitious email or something coming on.
Right. Because I'll see the name. I'll see the name when they want to enter the Zoom room with us. Okay.
And I think
so, folks, have you heard enough background chatter between BJ and Bill? Are you totally bored out of your gourd now? Because I kind of am myself. So anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm going to right now, as we speak,
send the invite to this person.
The invite.
Got it.
The invite has been sent.
Alert the media. Oh, wait, we are the media. Okay.
I probably should watch on here to see, like, hey, I never got an invite. Are you going to send me the invite?
So,
I better check my email every once in a while here on my phone.
By email. Yep, I got it. You did send it by email, right?
Yes.
Okay, good, because they have to join us. Well, I think they could probably do it on their phone, but that's now you're taking it to levels beyond my pay grade, as General Schwarzkopf once said. So I got it. Okay, cool. So if he joins us, we're bringing him right on. Is that what you're saying? And we're just doing the rest of the show from here on out. Okay. Because we're already 8 minutes into this, and we have said absolutely nothing of any importance yet. Nothing.
Now, we record this on a Monday.
We do.
So this is Monday, and it is National Emoji Day. Can you talk
smiley face, emoji? Smiley face, smiley face. Yes. A smiley face, heart, pile of poo.
I know some
really
of them.
Today's emoji day. I didn't know that. That's cool.
And some people, I mean, some of the younger generation, which I am not a part of,
right?
They'll send you a whole story with emojis, and you're going, what the heck are they trying to say to me?
I got it. And yes, now I have been accused of being somebody who, quote, you must really like those emojis, which is weird for me because I was the news guy. It was my job to write words and then speak words on the radio. But no, if I can get away with just, somebody says, hey, I'll call you in 10 minutes. You're just getting a thumbs up in reply. That's all you're getting. Maybe you'll get a thumbs up and a smiley face. Or, maybe the girlfriend gets a smiley face and a little kissy face or something like that. But that's it. I use a lot of emojis and stuff now. How about you? You don't really, because you and I text back and forth before the show. and I'll send, a smiley face or a thumbs up to you, and you're like, you're nothing. You got nothing.
My wife actually does that a lot on like text messages too.
Yes.
Like she'll put a ha or a heart.
Yes.
Or something like that. There's some medical things going on with someone I know and she knows, and there's been a group text, and
okay,
I've seen her put some hearts and some things like that.
Mm-hmm. It's not, you're not the person having the medical stuff, are you?
No, I'm not the person.
Okay.
Neither is my wife, but someone close to the family.
Well, no, I mean, we'd want to know if it was you. So, we know you.
Although we did. So,
okay.
My wife went to Moffitt.
Right.
She had some problems in her groin area. And they said it's probably a hernia with fluid in it.
Wow.
So we went to a surgeon today to find out what they're going to do.
Okay.
And he now wants, of course, he got the results in writing, but he actually wants to see the film of the MRI.
Wow.
And then he also wants to do a scan. So before he decides his actions of what he's going to do.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
But no, but one time because this was not the problem we were talking about. It's another person.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But there was a whole group of people, and some of them were just numbers, which means we have no idea who those people are.
Oh, so you had a text. Okay. Yeah. You had a text group and some people just showed up as phone numbers.
She sent this on a group. I'm just going to say it to you. It's someone who is going to be battling cancer.
Yes.
And so they want to get, started right away. Whatever it is, let's get started. Let's get it done.
Good.
And my wife, and, before knowing that, this thing went to like 20 different people, who knows who they are. That's why I told them to take my boobs off right away. I wanted it out of there now.
So your wife is sharing that little bit of information to people she doesn't even know.
Right.
And of course, you've now just shared it to the whole planet. So I hope she's okay with the whole planet knowing this. Okay, then. Well, good for you, Mr. Odom.
I've always talked about my mental issues. Yeah.
Your mental issues. Your
medical issues.
Medical issues.
I think we can talk about hers too.
Okay, fine.
I hope so.
You better hope so. Remember, the show doesn't air until Wednesday morning. I can always go back and edit it if I have to, but after tomorrow, probably not.
I don't know though. She might have headphones on, listening to her phone or something.
Right.
But she's like, not that far away. So
right.
She may have.
Does she listen to every show? Does she listen to every show?
Usually, because I usually listen when we're in the car.
Okay.
Like we are going to Tampa on Monday.
Right.
Of next week.
Right.
Probably, because that's good hour drive.
Sure.
Probably listen to this whole week's show next Monday. So
awesome.
Hey, I'll be in the hospital anyway, so if she hurts me.
Doctors will be nearby if she takes a swing at you. Okay, fine.
So I guess my question, though, going back to the original topic.
Emoji day.
Emoji. Do you can you write like a complete?
No.
You can't.
No.
You got to use
words. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I understand because I've seen kids will do that. We'll have just emoji after emoji after.
I know.
And I'm supposed to figure this out now? Not really. No.
I've seen that before.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't even have to get on the, type them back like, what?
Or you could just use the big question mark emoji.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could.
You could just
send
3 or 4 big question marks. Send him an eggplant. Which is, I know what that's supposed to be for. Can we talk about that on this program?
Yeah,
well, right?
This is a podcast. This isn't the BJ and Bill radio show.
Right. We could say whatever we want. So that's supposed to be like eggplant's supposed to be like a man's genitalia there, right? Yes. Man's private parts.
Yeah. That's what I guess.
And how that happened, I have no idea. Why an eggplant? Why not? Because it's
why not a cucumber?
Why not a cucumber? Why not a carrot? Why not? Eggplant is kind of purple.
They could use an Oscar Mayer wiener.
All right, this is going off the deep end quickly. So
Well,
you're right.
what?
You're right.
You know what I'm getting into, and this scares me because it is BJ Odom still.
Uh-oh.
You know, kind of like, you know, the not real smart one in this group of two.
Well, okay.
I've been watching like a lot of these, I guess, I don't know, documentaries or whatever. And so
Right.
I saw a whole documentary on cold cuts and hot dogs and everything. I saw a whole one on dog food and cat food. And, you know, I'll just tell you something. Chik-fil-A,
We love them.
you know, that they were originally sold in Waffle Houses. And it was
did not know that.
called a Chick-fil-A.
Really?
Really?
I didn't know that the sandwich was originally.
Today.
You did. Congrats. I've learned something I did not know. So when fast food, I'll take fast food for 1,000, please, Alex. What sandwich that now is owned, his own fast food sandwich was originally sold at Waffle House. Chick-fil-A was originally sold at Waffle House. Cool.
What it was, Kentucky Fried. I'll just give you a little synopsis here.
Please do.
Kentucky Fried Chicken was the big chicken restaurant, but they did bone-in chicken.
Yes.
Well, this guy had like a little restaurant. The guy who started Chick-fil-A had a restaurant of his own.
Right.
And somehow they got too many orders. I guess Delta Airlines or one of the airlines would serve chicken breast.
Right.
And I guess they had too many chicken breast. And so they didn't want them to go to waste. And they said, hey, do you think you could make these in your restaurant, use these in your restaurant?
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
And no one had ever really used chicken breast and made chicken sandwiches before. Everything was bone in. If people ate chicken back then, they ate chicken.
Bucket of chicken.
Yeah.
Had it up all the time.
So he tried different recipes and different things and tried to get the right taste. And he put pickles on his fried chicken breast. He goes,
yep.
Wow, what a great sandwich. And then I guess he sold Chick-fil-A sandwiches, but he sold it to Waffle House where they had to pay him like 3 cents, 5 cents for every Chick-fil-A sandwich they sold.
Wow.
And then they say, hey, these are getting to be more popular than our waffles, and we're Waffle House.
Right.
So we're not going to sell these anymore. So he had to rethink everything.
We're going to take this really super popular product that we're selling the heck out of, and we're just not going to do it anymore.
Right.
Why not change your name to Chicken House instead of Waffle House, or Waffles and Chicken House, which is a thing now, waffles and chicken, right?
Right.
Right. So somebody somewhere made a bad business decision and somebody made a good business decision. And Chick-fil-A is doing pretty darn good.
Popeyes, and it talks about,
right.
It talks about all the chicken restaurants. It was a very
yeah,
interesting show.
Have you got a favorite chicken sandwich? We've done this question before, haven't we? A long time ago.
Yeah. I don't know if I really have a favorite chicken sandwich.
Chick-fil-A is really good. They're really, really good.
Maybe because I'm old. If it ain't got the bone in it, I don't want it.
Really?
That's like when you go get wings. We have boneless wings. Well, that chicken's not going to fly if he has no bones in his wings.
That's just chicken nuggets. You can't fool me. You went to McDonald's, you bought a box of nuggets, and you put some sauce on them, and you call them boneless wings. Those are chicken nuggets. I'm sorry. I get it. I understand that. But the sandwich part of it, Chick-fil-A, really good. I got to tell you. And whoever, we've mentioned this before too. I know we have, that whoever is in charge of setting up the system of the Chick-fil-A drive-in, they should be running the whole government. They should be running the federal government, because they have got it dialed in. They have got it dialed in. Absolutely, positively. The Chick-fil-A up the street from me here near the university, you drive by that at lunchtime on any day of the week, except for Sunday when they're closed. You drive by the Chick-fil-A drive-in on any day of the week. It is wall to wall, 2 lanes across, and it wraps around the building. So much so that they are literally, I am not kidding, building another Chick-fil-A across the street from the existing one. And it's going to be drive-through only. So it's like, wow, you guys are crushing it. Good job. So there you go.
I'm going to try this one more time.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it went through or not.
Oh, if our guest is joining us or not. Yeah, we haven't seen any name pop up or anything like. Well,
Okay, so
you could text him now and say, "Hey, did you get the email? I sent you the Zoom link through email. Did you get it?" You could try
I don't
that.
have his text number.
All right. Oh, well, you got. Well, you could plug. You could plug his email into the text message, and it will go via email, but by text. See, now you've learned something today. So,
well, I can send that.
we're gonna wait. All right, folks. Smoke them if you got them. While BJ does his email.
Smoke them. Don't get me excited here on the show. Anyway, I don't smoke them. So what? I'm supposed to put his email.
You just put his email into the text box where you would normally put a telephone number. Yeah, okay. And it'll go just the same. Now, well, I'm going to assume it's going to go the same.
Well, maybe this.
I know
is
it will
number.
iPhone to iPhone. I know it will iPhone to iPhone, but I don't know if it will if he's an Android person. So, folks, while BJ works on that, I'll tell you what I did this weekend. I went to see Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 on Sunday.
How was that?
Really good, not great. Really good though. And I mean, I think I've seen all the Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise. And every one he's got to do something bigger, better, crazier than he did before. And we've all seen the stunt where he rides the motorcycle off the edge of the cliff and then parachutes down. Okay, we got that. That's pretty cool. I mean, in the movie, it actually works. It serves the purpose and all that. But he's parachuting onto a moving train. The train is going through the Swiss Alps somewhere, and he's parachuting onto the train, which he does, of course, because he's Tom Cruise and it's Mission Impossible. And then the bad guy, well, I guess maybe I shouldn't say, well, no, it doesn't have anything to do with the plot. But they blow up the bridge that the train is on, and the train goes over the edge of the bridge. And then so Tom and, of course, the female spy that he's, got in this one have to scramble to get as it's like car boink by car boink falls off the edge of the bridge. And they're scrambling to keep running to the front of the train so they don't go over the edge. And I thought for sure, because this is Dead Reckoning Part 1, I thought that was like, oh, we're going to have a cliffhanger and they'll just leave Tom literally hanging from the cliff from the train. And they didn't. They actually resolved that scene. And then it went on to like, okay, but now we have this and now we still need to do this big piece of the mission. Stay tuned for Part 2. So it was... Can I tell you? Yeah, I can tell you a little bit of what it's got a lot to do with AI, with artificial intelligence taking over the world. Oh, and wow. It's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, torn from the headlines, as they say, which is super interesting and super cool. But it's almost like such a big subject that it's almost hard to get your hands around the bad, because normally it's some mad scientist in a lab somewhere who's ready to take over the world with his latest poison or his satellites or his army of zombies or whatever. We get it, but no, this was like, it's an AI bad guy, and it's like, really? It's a little, I don't know, it's a little squishy. I don't know, but it was good. It was good. And I'll definitely see the second one. I absolutely will. And we saw it in a Dolby sound theater. So it wasn't the giant screen. What is that? What's the giant screen called?
IMAX?
IMAX. It wasn't IMAX. It was the regular movie screen, but it was a Dolby sound theater. So when there was explosions and car wrecks, and there were a lot of them, your seat literally shook with the sound. And the first 15 minutes, it was hilarious. The crowd kind of like, ah. And then after that, it was like you settled in and you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's like, oh, car wreck coming. Oh, bam, blah, blah, blah. Screen, the movie theater shakes, or I don't know how they did it, but it was cool. It was very cool. So yeah, and of course,
now they say he does Impossible.
So there's,
they say he does most of his own
I think
stunts.
He does all of his own stunts. I think he does all of them. I mean, I saw that one Mission Impossible where he was hanging off the edge of the airplane while the airplane's taking off, and I know he did that one he did that one himself. And I'm 99.9% sure he did the jump on the motorcycle off of the cliff one I know he did because there's been like, shows about it and reports about it and stuff like that. So yeah, God bless him. And he says he wants to keep doing them forever and ever. He wants to keep doing more and more Mission Impossibles until he's like 80 years old. I'm like, okay, Tom, I want to see you jumping off a cliff when you're 80 years old, because if he can do it, I can do it. Doggone it. That's what I'm telling myself anyway.
The only stunt I do anymore, I take my mobility scooter and I drive around Disney property. That's
That's your stunt, huh? Maybe if you're not careful, you might go over a curb. Oh, look out! Oh, it was just
or what's
curb.
really
Okay.
bad, because it's a 3-wheeler. And sometimes, because you're trying to be over to the side where nobody hits you, or nobody bothers you. So you're trying to go all the way to the side. And then you're like wheel that's sticking out a little bit because it's and then you notice that it hits something and you can't go forward. So you have to kind of back up. And
you're stuck.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is the lamest thing ever. I mean, that's just lame. That is really lame.
But I do my own stunts.
Oh yeah, great. You do your he does his own stunts.
But
what's
really funny about it too is it's front wheel drive.
Okay.
So if you're going up like a major hill, like to an attraction or something that's, like up a hill.
Are there major hills at Disney
forward
World?
as much as you can to get the traction front wheel drive. Or else the front wheel
one wheel on the
spins.
front, right? It's just one wheel on the front and two in the back.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be you could get stuck somewhere on Magic Mountain or something like that, man. You don't know. It's that's crazy. Yes. So anyway, that was that. So I did that that was in Jacksonville yesterday. So hats off to my friends in our friends in Jacksonville. We were out there. Me and a lady friend were out there on a little date yesterday in Jacksonville. It was great fun. So,
I want to ask, how did it go?
Really well. Thank you very much. Really well. So we're having a nice time together. We're going to see each other again as of this recording tomorrow. So yes.
Oh, because Tuesday's your day off, right?
Tuesday's my day off. It is this week. Sundays and Tuesdays this week are my day off. So we're gonna get together on Tuesday of this week as we record this on Monday. And yeah. This I'll tell you well, her name's Jeannie. It doesn't matter. I mean, she won't listen to this podcast.
Did you have to rub a bottle?
I did not have to. That's a great line. I have to remember that. Rub a bottle to get her. But she is in my memory, my memory is not that good because we're old, but in my memory, this is the first blonde I've ever dated. I think. Isn't that crazy that it's been, 6 decades and it's the first blonde that I think I've dated. So anyway.
Well, you've only went out on one date, so I really can't ask this question.
Two dates. Yesterday was the second one. Well, we've talked on the phone multiple times. And then, yes, there was, again, as we're recording this, last Sunday, we got together for not a long time, but for a few hours. Yes. In between stuff. So yes, yesterday was technically the second date. So yes.
Probably be at least another date before I can ask you if the carpet matches the drapes.
Yes, it's going to be at least another date because unlike other people on this podcast, BJ Odom, I am a gentleman.
So am
true.
I.
You are. Oh, okay, right.
I can't help it that the women I've seen in my past are rowdy women.
Can we? Yeah. Can we get Miss Susan in on the studio to maybe ask her a little bit of gentlemanly questions here? That's fine.
No, I would say, let me see.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure, if I remember back to those days, I was definitely more than 3.
More than 3 dates?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Good for you.
But in my single days, I always said it was 3 dates or
3 dates.
3 dates or I'm out.
Oh, you mean if nothing happened on the 3rd date, you were done?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow. You got a short fuse there, BJ.
But see,
Odom.
yeah, well, more ways than
Okay. Sorry about that, folks. We just had a little man-to-man moment there. Sorry, not sorry. Is it time for the eggplant? Is it time for the eggplant emoji yet? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just wondering. I go to my sent mail and it doesn't look like I'm sending it, but I've sent it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, there it is. Okay.
All right, you sent
it.
it.
It has been sent.
It has been sent. And it is just past the designated time here as we do. So you want to take a break and see if you can reach out to this person?
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, because we are about halfway through. God knows we've talked about absolutely nothing of importance except for my lame review of Mission Impossible, but that's fine. Stand by, folks. Go refill your adult beverage or coffee, whatever it might happen to be, and we will be right back. Welcome back. I'm Bill Stevens. That's BJ Odom over there. And this is the BJ and Bill podcast, heard every week right here, wherever you get your podcasts. And we would love it if you would be so good as to share a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, does not matter. Just remember that you can leave a review, tell everybody how great this show is. Bite your tongue and lie if you have to. It's okay. We don't mind. And if you'd like to get in touch with the show, of course, we are getting a lot of engagement is the fancy marketing word on our Facebook page. Just on Facebook, do a search for BJ and Bill podcast. Just remember, you got to spell out the A-N-D, BJ and Bill podcast. And if you'd like to email, we are at the same address, BJ and Bill podcast at gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, BJ Odom.
Well, I'm trying to get this special guest to come on. And we took a little break there to see if I could reach out to him via phone, and no one ever answered. And I don't know. I think I'm going to retire from trying to book guests on the show.
I'm sure your son has somebody that does the job for him. Maybe we need to hire that person. Really somebody to really run down these guests and just nail them down and say, this is it. This is your opportunity. This is, of course, maybe that also, I just had an ugly thought there. Of course, if somebody says, would you like to be on, the Gentry Odom podcast? And people go, oh, yes, absolutely. I'll do it. And then they say, would you like to be on BJ and Bill? And they go, who? So maybe we have a bigger problem that we're just not familiar with. That's too depressing. I don't want to go there. That's too depressing. So anyway, here we are. It's okay. All good.
But a gentleman that you talked about many, many times on this podcast.
And we're not going to mention his name.
Oh, you're not going to mention his name.
Oh, I mean, we could, because nobody will know him. I mean, other than, well, I guess if you were in the business, well, no, you wouldn't know him because he never worked in Fort Myers. He never worked in Florida, for all I know. So,
and I found that out.
Yes, you did.
Because I thought mentioning his name, I thought you said one time he was the one that brought you to Super Q.
No. Dave Ferraro was the guy that brought me to Super Q. Well, no, that's not true. I'm sorry, that's not true. I met Dave Ferraro when I got to Super Q. The guy that brought me to Super Q worked. Now that's interesting. He might know this other guy, but the guy that brought me to Super Q was the GM. Well, I don't know if you call him GM or not. He was the program director. He was definitely the program director, and his name was Rick Dreves. I think I have that right. And he went to the same college where this guest that you're trying to reach out to, he was a graduate student at the public radio stations at Ohio University, where we all went to college. And then he went on to work in Florida. And when I graduated, a year later, because he was a grad student, and Rick Dreves I'm talking about. Boy, I hope I get that name right, and I'm 90% sure that's the correct name. He wasn't really a radio guy. I mean, he was more of a management type. I think his degree was in like city planning or something like that, but he enjoyed radio. And so he was like looking for work and took this job in Fort Myers, and he called me, and literally I was unemployed and freezing my butt off back in married days in Columbus, Ohio. And I took the phone call, and he's like, "Hey, this is Rick. Do you remember?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Well, I need some help, and I'm in Fort Myers, Florida." And I said, and I quote, "Where the hell is that?" And
sound
he
like
said,
Charles Barkley now.
Yeah. And he said, find a map, find Fort Lauderdale, go straight west, and you will see Fort Myers. And I went, "You're right. It's a little itty bitty tiny town." He goes, "Yeah, it is. But we got a radio station. You want to come work for me?" And I'm like, yes. And so I got on the next plane, and I flew to Fort Myers, and then my wife packed up our little tiny apartment in Columbus and moved down. So yeah, it was a great story. It really was. It was a great story. So anyway, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought I'd surprise you, and put Ken Jones on the radio or on the podcast.
Kent with a Jones. Right. But not yet. He didn't pick up the phone, and he didn't answer his email. So Kent, I'm going to reach out to you on Facebook this week, and you're going to hear about it. So maybe we'll set this up for, he's such a nice, he's one of those guys that is so nice, so professional, so smooth that it's like you could probably, you could do anything, and it would be like smooth as glass. He would be like so cool, so calm, so collected. I always admired that in him. So anyway, we'll try and get him on the show at a future date. But I really want to say thank you to BJ Odom officially here on the program for reaching out to this guy, because BJ doesn't know this guy at all. And he was a buddy of mine back literally from 45 years ago. And yeah, that would be awesome. That would be
and
awesome.
He's still
we'll
doing
see what we
morning
can
radio
do.
also.
He was the morning guy at one of those AM, and we talked about this, and maybe that's where his name came up, because we talked about those clear channel radio stations, not the company, but the ones that it's like on this frequency, this is the only radio station for like 1,000 miles. And he was on KOMA in Kansas City. I think it's Kansas City. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. He was the morning guy on KOMA, an oldies AM clear channel, hear it everywhere radio station for like 25 years. And I remember, and I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again quickly. I remember driving to my morning show in Phoenix, Arizona at like 4:30 in the morning in Phoenix time, listening to him 1,000 miles away in Kansas City, because that radio station would get to Phoenix, and I would listen to him when it came in. It wasn't always that way, but it would do it occasionally. And then he retired from KOMA, and he and his wife, as I just follow him on Facebook. We're Facebook friends. And I know he and his wife moved up to the Northwest, like, Washington State, Seattle, something like that up there. And of course you can't keep people out of broadcasting. He found another radio station, and he's probably back at it again somewhere. So I'd love to hear more of his story, and hopefully we'll get to do that someday, because he is a great, great guy. One of the greats in the broadcast.
He told me he was doing morning radio. That's why he couldn't join us at our normal time.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, he told me he was 3 hours behind us.
Right. Because he's out west now. Yeah, he's on the West Coast. So, well, if he joins us, he joins us. If he doesn't, we'll try again one of these weeks coming up. So that's my story. And I'm sticking to it, doggone it. There's no emoji for that.
It would have been so neat, though. I was really wanting to bring him on without
Make
you.
the surprise happen.
No,
that would have been awesome. I mean, it blows me away that you did what you did. So I'm grateful for that. It blows me away that you did that much.
The internet, you can find about anybody anymore.
You can. Yeah, you can find anybody. And with Facebook and social media and the internet, you can find anything anywhere. So yeah, that's fine. Cool.
I just liked my initial email. I was talking about you and telling him we did a podcast together, and you talked about him a lot on our podcast, because we talk a lot about radio, and I love to surprise you and get you on. And then he, of course, gets back to me. He goes, because I said Bill Stevens, which basically his air name.
Mhm.
Then he gave me your real name, which
So,
I
right.
personally know.
Yes.
I can run you down anywhere, Bill.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And I said, yep, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
So
And
he said, yeah, I'd love to join you.
Cool.
So we set it all
we'll
up.
make it happen.
Obviously, he
Didn't happen.
He didn't show up.
He didn't show up.
He'll maybe show up for you.
We will make it happen one of these days. We will make it happen. That's awesome. And I told you off the air as we were taking our break, I said, I have an idea who I have a little inkling of who it might be. And I was totally wrong. Totally wrong.
Who'd you think? I'll tell you who I thought you might have thought.
Okay, who?
Peter Noon.
Oh, wow. That would have been super awesome too. No, actually another media personality from Southwest Florida. He went by a whole bunch of different names. He was actually on the air on the Smooth Jazz station that we owned, that Clear Channel owned back in the day in the previous building. He used to go by the name Torrey Pines, but his real name is Dave Keller. And he was in the computer business with me. He was in the computer business with me not with me, but I mean, we were both doing the similar kind of computer business. And he and I are still Facebook friends too. And we send cartoons back and forth and stuff. He's a funny guy too. So, but he's long since retired, not long since retired, but he's been retired for many, many years.
Yeah, the dynamite voice.
He did. He had a good voice. And
he came back actually and worked for Clear Channel. He might even have worked for Oldies, our old station, after we left.
I'm not sure you're thinking of the same guy I'm thinking
Dave
of.
Kellogg.
No, not Dave Kellogg. No. Dave Keller. No, Dave Keller. And he went, like I said, he had a good voice, but it wasn't really like a booming radio voice. So
because Dave Kellogg was a booming.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. No, that's not it. Totally different people. Boy, we are just boring the hell out of our audience with so much inside baseball talk here tonight, folks, that it's like crazy. Okay, never mind. What else? Speaking of baseball,
let me get to another one of my stupid stories.
Please do, because we need to bail this show out in the worst way.
All right, what came first?
Yes,
the chopsticks or the fork?
I'm going to say chopsticks because Chinese have been around for thousands and thousands of years, and a fork.
They've been around for 2,000 years.
2,000 years. Chopsticks have been around for 2,000 years. Yeah.
And
I think I got a set of 2,000-year-old chopsticks from the little carryout across the way. So that was a bad attempt at a joke, but it didn't really fly, did it? So yeah. Chopsticks. Fork is a fork.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I use a fork. You use a fork. I
do too.
To separate your muffins, your English muffins.
Yes, you have to use a fork. You have to. They come that way in the bag, and it even says right in the bag, fork split. Because if you took a knife to them, it would have a smooth edge. But if you take a fork to them, you get all the nooks and crannies. Trademark.
Here's how I do mine, though. I cut with a knife, but I don't go deep.
Okay.
But I go all the way around, and then I pull it apart. All the nooks and crannies are there.
You do your Bryan Adams imitation on them, huh?
I've tried to use a fork.
Cuts like a knife. You missed that whole reference. It went right past you.
Fork just does not work for me. Oh no.
Okay.
Don't tell me.
Okay, fine. And I use forks. I made not pulled pork, but I made pot roast over the weekend. I made pot roast. There'll be some leftover pot roast for dinner tonight. And I use two forks to pull it apart like pulled pork. Oh, so yummy. So yummy.
Now you got me wanting pulled pork.
Hello. I drove past somehow. If we don't get Buc-ee's to sponsor this program, we are doing something wrong. I'm just going to say that right now.
I don't think
I don't think they need us. No, they don't need us. They absolutely do not need us. But we talk about them almost every damn week. And I drove past the one in St. Augustine last night, and I'm going south on I-95, and I'm like, oh, look, Buc-ee's. And my partner in the car goes, what? And I'm like, never mind. I should have stopped. Never mind.
Could have got you some of those swimming trunks like I have.
Or pulled pork. That's where brisket. Come on.
I go for the
Oh,
brisket.
man. Yeah. Yeah.
My wife likes their smoked turkey, but I go for the brisket.
Brisket. You got to go for the barbecue. Come on, folks. Come on. Or
I don't even want to tell you what I had today. It was a no. Well, maybe on your diet, it was not a no.
Which is?
I had Hooters chicken wings. And yes, people, I go for the wings. Every once in a while, I'll even put on Facebook, oh, I went to Hooters and had my favorite wings. And they go, yeah, your favorite wings.
Wings. Yeah. Tell us another one, BJ.
But honestly, because I am always honest on this show.
Oh, really?
I go for the wings.
You're the guy that reads Playboy for the good articles.
Yeah, no.
I know, right?
No, I don't know.
No,
I don't lie.
No, I don't lie. Okay.
Boy, for the pictures.
So you went to Hooters So you went to Hooters now. Now, did they have sauce on them or were they the plain?
Yeah,
ones?
I had the teriyaki.
Okay. Yeah, the wings are okay on the, keto diet. The wings are okay, but you start slathering that sauce on them and it's got who knows what's in that sauce.
What about hot sauce?
Even want to. It depends. There are companies out there. Boy, we could give another shout out to another company that should sponsor this program, but I'm not going to do it. But there are companies out there that make wing sauces that are made with good, high quality ingredients that you could absolutely do your keto diet with. So yeah, you can absolutely have wings with a good sauce on it. So yeah, absolutely, positively. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the teriyaki, probably not a good sauce, but I was thinking maybe, because I usually get the mild.
Right.
But I'll tell you, I don't know if this is at every Hooters.
Right.
And I'm going to give Hooters a plug. But during the summer months, I don't know if business is down or what.
Right.
But on Mondays and Wednesdays, you buy 10 wings. That's either bone in, bone out.
Right.
I want my bone in, baby.
You. Right.
But
right.
I got to have my
skipping
bone
over
in.
the obvious jokes here. Yes, you want the bone-in wings.
And I go back and forth between the mild, because I don't like hot.
Right.
I'll go between the mild and I'll go between the teriyaki.
Teriyaki. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't like them super hot either. So I would probably default. I would probably go with the teriyaki myself as well. Have I had wings at Hooters? Boy, it's been a long time since I've even been in the door of a Hooters. I couldn't. Wow.
Now I remember
that's a
when
long
I used
play.
to
That's
work
a long way to go.
at Cat Country.
Right.
I used to go every Friday.
Ooh.
And
there's one right down the street in Fort Myers there. Yeah.
And also I remember now, but yeah, I like their wings and I like them breaded too, because you can get them breaded or not breaded. And I always
if you do the not breaded ones, way better for your keto diet. Absolutely. So yeah, but
so I was bad all the way
not
around today, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. Yeah. So you're not helping your diet there at all. So, and now you're going to you're going for your 50,000-mile heart checkup next Monday. Yep. Is that it? They're going to tell you to lay off the wings, BJ.
Heart cath. Well, not actually. This show will air on Wednesday. If you download it the day it drops, the following Monday, we're going to leave because I got to be there at God awful early in the morning. So we're going to go stay in a hotel the night before, and I'll probably Uber to the hospital so the wife can sleep in and have the free breakfast at the hotel.
Very nice. Very nice.
Because the breakfast will not be served when we are leaving.
No. And I'm guessing I'm guessing there's no breakfast served at Tampa General Hospital either.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah, right.
In the cafeteria.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a heart cath, so I can't eat nothing anyway.
You're not eating, and it's not exactly like free like it is at the hotel. So there you go. Cool.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I like that. That's good.
So yeah. So next Tuesday, which is still next Tuesday, if you're listening to the podcast on Wednesday or anywhere up till Monday, but next Tuesday, heart cath. So that's when I go up on the lift and they check everything out and
dipstick whole thing.
Usually when I walk out, I go, oh, good. I got 6 more months to live.
Is that how you just do it at 6 months at a time? That's pretty much your system, huh? 6 months. Yeah. And they just keep punching your card. They just keep punching your little pass and say, click, click, click. You're good for another 6 months. See you later.
Yep. That's what I say anyway.
Awesome. That's what you say. Yeah. Well, and they're in the business of keeping you alive. So we appreciate all the work that the good folks at Tampa General are doing.
I need to Google that. I don't know what the longest, I mean, not the oldest, but the longest heart transplant is. Because, back in the day, if you hit 20,
Right.
you were doing, miracles, which is still a miracle.
Don't make me go to Google, which I am doing as we speak right now. So how would we ask that question? Longest surviving heart transplant.
Surviving, because that would be how old they are.
Well, no. Well, I hear you. No, wait a minute. So, all right. So no, I believe Google has an answer for us. Okay. Longest surviving, and it's on the Guinness Book of World Records website. So it's probably pretty darn accurate. And it says the longest surviving heart transplant patients, Harold Sokirka. Oh, longest surviving heart transplantation, who has lived for 35 years after receiving his transplant back in 1986. Is that right? Is that 35 years
right,
from
35.
now?
That means I got another 15 years.
You got plenty of time. Plenty
Does it say how old he is?
It does not, but now I'm clicking on the website here and seeing what it says. All right, let's see. Longest surviving heart transplant patient is Harold. So Harold, you have a hard to pronounce name. Who was born in 1952, so he's older than you, who has lived for 34 years, 359 days after receiving his transplant on 3rd of June, 1986 in London, Ontario, Canada, as verified 28 May, 2022. All right, is he still alive? Has he passed? It does not say. Story of blah, 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 blah. Harold was suffering from cardiomyopathy, disease of the heart muscle, et cetera, et cetera. It does not say if he is still alive and with us or not. Well, now it says May, as of 28 May, 2021. So maybe that's when he passed. I don't know.
Could have been.
So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, but look at you. You got, if he did 35 years, you got a lot of mileage left on the clock there, young man. You got time to go.
All right, let's go, baby.
So
we'll
wait,
get up to 472 episodes of the BJ and Bill podcast.
How long has it been? How many years?
It was on March the 9th.
March the 9th.
It was 20 years last March. So this coming March. So actually, it's been 20 and a half years.
20 and a half years at this point. So if you make it as long as Harold, you've got at least another 15 or 16 years to go, at which point you'll be, 100 years old? Or what?
Let me see. I'll try to figure this out now.
15. Add 15 to where you're at now.
That'd be about 81, 82.
80. Oh, wow. 81 or 82. Okay. So you got some time.
I don't think I'll ever make it that far.
You don't think you'll make it 15 years? No.
I'll bet. What did you say his first name was? Harold?
Harold.
I'll bet Harold wasn't eating Hooters chicken wings.
And not the teriyaki breaded ones. Let's put it that way. Maybe the plain ones. Yeah. That's funny. That's good. That's worth a little more research there on Mr.
Hey, Harold, what was you eating? So I'll know.
Right. And if he's still alive, well, if he was born in 50, he's not that much older. If he was born in 52, he's only, if he's still alive, he's only 71 or 72 at this point. There's a guest to get on the show. There's a guy to get on the show.
Find Harold.
I'm saving that Google page. I am absolutely positively saving that Google page. Harold, and it's S-O-K, Sokirka. Wow, that's a hard one to pronounce.
As I say, we're on the Podcast Playground Network with, podcast.
Yes.
And now he didn't have a heart transplant, but I believe he had a kidney transplant. I'm not for sure, but Al B. Sure, the R&B guy.
Yes.
Who's had, hit records. He does a podcast now on the Podcast Playground Network. And I know his first podcast, he was talking to the doctors that saved his life, which was pretty
that's
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. That's cool. So, if he got the heart, all right, he got the heart when? He got the heart in 1986, and he got the heart of a 16-year-old. So he's got a lot of mileage left on that clock too. So there you go. Wow. And there's a whole big article on him here on some health magazine, website, newspaper, whatever. So, all right, I got to do some working. You know, if you can find an old radio buddy of mine, I can find Harold. Harold is, he can't be that hard to find. He's probably at his age. All of us old people are on Facebook. He's probably on Facebook. I'll look him up.
It was funny. Dr. Pritt, who is in Southwest Florida, he's now, retired.
Right.
But he was my doctor for a while, my regular medical doctor in Fort Myers.
Right.
And he had a heart transplant.
Really?
And that was one of the reasons why I started going to him, because somebody said, hey, my doctor had a heart transplant. And so I need to meet him. I need to have him as my doctor.
Really?
And so I had him as my doctor. And I used to always say, when I'd go in there, it was so funny because I'd go in there with a cold or a sore throat or something.
Right.
And we would talk more about our transplants. I mean, most people go into a doctor's office, and I shouldn't say this because, he's retired now. Doesn't matter. But we'd go in there and we would talk for a half hour, 45 minutes about our I probably put him so far behind every time I went in there. It wasn't funny.
So you're the reason everybody else in the waiting room was cursing.
Yeah.
I have to wait so damn long for this doctor.
Guy.
Because BJ and him are just chewing the fat over, talking about heart transplant. So did he have his before you?
He had his after me.
After you. So he's not, And he's still with us. He's still alive and kicking. Okay.
And I used to always tell him, I said, I'm going to be the longest living heart transplant patient. I'm going to break the record.
Of course.
And he goes, and I wish you luck. And after you break the record, I'm going to break your record.
Is he older than you or younger than you?
He's actually, I think he's pretty close to the same age.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But he only got his maybe 5 years ago.
Oh, well, he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to beat your record.
Yeah.
He's going to be a way older man. Wow. Yeah. So he's a
doctor. He might be able to figure it all out.
Sorry, Doc. You got some work to do ahead. And that's cool. I mean, I get it. Cool. But yeah, he's got a lot of catching up to do. So, but you're not going anywhere anytime soon. And so as you keep racking up the miles here, somewhere that poor doctor is going, damn that BJ Odom. He hasn't died yet. I can't catch up to him.
You know what I'm hoping though? I know it's a big controversy. Someday I want to have an electric car. Maybe I'll live long enough to get an electric heart.
An electric heart.
I did. That was me, dear. I was pounding on the wood because I was knocking on wood.
I see.
Knock
on wood.
She thought someone was at the door. And
why would you want an electric heart? I don't get it.
That should go forever.
Oh, I see. Well, the one you got is going to go forever. I mean, but I see what you're saying. Maybe if they do it right, maybe they get it to where they don't have to worry about the rejection thing. That would be super cool, right? Because that's an issue.
It's really, in all honesty, with any transplant, I don't care which one you have.
Right.
The drugs are the hardest thing on you, and they are the ones that cause damage to other things.
Right.
So I needed a kidney transplant.
Right. Because your heart transplant, or because your anti-rejection medication was messing with the rest of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so we need to have your doctor on. We need to have somebody from your medical team. Boy, trying to schedule an appointment. You think it's hard to schedule an old radio guy? Trying to get a doctor to spend a half an hour with us? Maybe at night, maybe like at 8 o'clock at night or something like that when he's maybe
what I might
home.
Be able to get.
Yes.
I might be able to get Nurse Lisa.
Nurse Lisa.
Who has been my coordinator from day one.
Wow.
So, because my doctor has since retired.
Yes.
And I have a new doctor that's been with me only for a couple of years.
Right.
So Lisa would probably actually be the person to talk to.
Yeah, I'm sure she would have some great BJ Odom stories. Wow. Absolutely. We need to get a hold of. And is she at Tampa General? Is that where she's at? Okay.
Lisa Head is her name, Dr. Lee. Well, she's a
nurse,
nurse
practitioner. Yeah, she's a nurse. So that's kind of a little, I think that's a step up. I don't know. And so please don't be insulted.
Yeah, it is.
It's
a step above a regular nurse.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and,
cool.
In all honesty, I believe that nurse practitioners have just as much knowledge sometimes as a doctor does.
I have seen that in action, and I believe it because they're with you. Like look at your nurse Lisa there. She's been with you since day one. She knows probably more about your case than anybody. So, yeah.
And
So,
I remember the first time I met her after my surgery.
Right?
I'll give you a little Lisa story.
Sure.
She came in with this pill box that was like gigantic. You know, everybody's got the little pill box.
Right.
Well, this thing was the mother of all pill boxes.
Right. So it was like
And
the
of
size
course-
of a suitcase or something.
Yeah, she was showing me and the wife like this one at morning, this one at lunchtime, this one at nighttime.
Wow.
It had like 4 rows with each day.
Wow.
So, and she was putting the pills in there and she was explaining to them, what they are and what they did and everything.
Right.
And she looked at me and she says, you know what? These are the anti-rejection pills. And I mean, she was as stern as a woman. I mean, she was like almost downright mean.
Right.
These are important. You must take these each and every day. You cannot skip. You need to, just like,
Right.
And I told her by like, 4 or 5 years later, after I really got to know her and she got to know me, I go, first time I met you, man, you scared me to death. You were like.
And what did she say? She was just trying to put the fear of God in you, probably.
You got to really,
Yeah.
stress how
Yeah.
important the anti-rejection drugs are. But yeah, she was like, she walked out and I looked at my wife, oh my God, man, what a little, I ain't going to tell you what I said.
And now you're buddies. Good.
Yeah, we're best friends. I'm not
Great.
best friend, but I mean,
Yeah, I know. She's. You're
As
not
close
her
as I
only.
think you can-
You're not her only heart
I know,
transplant.
but I
Crazy.
think I'm like about as close as anybody
Yeah.
could be with, a nurse
Sure.
doctor relationship.
Well, you're gonna see. You'll see her this week, right?
Yes.
Or you'll see her next week.
I'll see her next week. Yeah.
Put the bug in her ear and say, "When are you free and available for a half an hour on a podcast somewhere? Come on."
Yeah, I'll do it.
You absolutely should. You
And hopefully
absolutely
she'll
should.
join us where other people have
I know.
been later.
I just
Not-
saw, and I'm pointing to my computer screen. You can't see it at home, but I just had a text pop in from another person who should be a guest on this program. And I could surprise BJ Odom with that. I just thought of that. Maybe I won't tell him. And it's a lady.
Oh,
Yes. You'll know who it is, of course. So, but it's fine.
I think I already know.
I'll bet you do. Yeah, it's fine. So, but I'm going to work on that. You work on Nurse Lisa. I'm going to work on this person. So it'll be great.
Okay.
It'll be great. All right. So look at that. We got through the hour without a guest, without anything, without a story, we got through this show without anything, basically. We pulled a rabbit out of a hat with this one.
Yes, we did.
BJ Odom, comedy magic strikes again. It's all good. It's all good. All right. All right. So when next we talk, you will have gone to your checkup, right?
No,
Okay. So that'll be
because we record on a Monday.
yeah.
So we'll record Monday morning as always.
Okay.
And then I will, after we get done here, I will boogie to, sometime in the afternoon, I'll boogie.
You will moderately boogie. Yes.
Yeah.
You will slow dance your way from Claremont to Tampa General.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll go
Okay.
to the Holiday Inn first.
The Holiday Inn. All right. Elton John song. All right. Sounds good. So that's it, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. It was kind of a weird show today, but they're all fun and we enjoy it. And we love you being here and we appreciate you. And if you would like to show your appreciation, please feel free to give us one of those 5-star reviews wherever you get your podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, does not matter. Just, BJ and Bill podcast, look it up, leave a great review and we will appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. Until then, it's just up to BJ to say,
See ya.